Welcome to the Saul's Newsstand News Review for October 5th, 2018. The Motley Fool published an article entitled, Social Security's Fast Facts and Figures Report Highlights 3 Terrifying Trends. It reads, Social Security's importance to retirees can't be overstated. According to the Social Security Administration, approximately 62% of existing retirees lean on the program to account for at least half of their monthly income, with a third reliant on Social Security for essentially all of their income. In other words, Social Security is more than just a monthly check most workers will receive during retirement. It's actually a means to build a financial foundation for tens of millions of aged beneficiaries. Social Security is also facing what could be described as its biggest challenge ever. The first of which is a declining ratio of workers to beneficiaries. Through no fault of their own, baby boomers are certainly part of the problem. Social Security relies on relatively predictable fertility trends to ensure that enough new workers are entering the labor force as older workers retire and move out of the workforce. These new workers are leaned on to generate payroll tax revenue that can be dispersed out to eligible beneficiaries. The worker-to-beneficiary ratio has been on a pretty steady decline for a decade and will continue to slide until about 2035. Another challenge is the rising average age of retired workers. According to the Social Security Administration Facts and Figures Report, the average age of retired worker beneficiaries has increased from 72.4 years in 1960 to 73.8 years in 2017. Though that might seem relatively negligible, additional data from the SSA demonstrates that the percentage of the population reaching age 65 has ballooned in recent decades. And, as a reminder, retired worker benefits can begin at age 62 or any point thereafter. As the number of people reaching the qualifying age for benefits expands and life expectancies rise modestly, the pressure continues to build on Social Security. The Heritage Foundation published an article entitled, Plotting the Demise of the Death Tax. It reads, No one puts out a welcome mat for the Grim Reaper, but those who've built up a successful business have even more reason to dread his approach. Why? Because they know the death tax will soon exact a hefty toll on their hard work. Technically known as the estate tax, the death tax is the penalty that families must pay when a loved one dies and leaves them significant assets. It was created a century ago to help fund World War I. Naturally, it outlasted that conflict. Proponents make it sound like the death tax affects only the super rich. But whatever its original intention, that's not how it operates. The tax has destroyed countless family-owned businesses over the years. To pay the amount due, surviving members are often essentially forced to liquidate the business or sell big pieces to outsiders. The death tax is a job killer. It encourages wealthy Americans to spend their money today rather than invest it in growing a business. After all, what's the point of building a bigger nest egg if Washington is just going to take a huge chunk of it? The death tax also hammers some Americans more than others, since it especially targets landowners. Many farmers, ranchers, and homeowners have improved their land. Yet when they die, the federal government punishes their survivors. We would encourage you to read the full article by clicking on the link in the description below. And finally, the Washington Examiner makes the startling observation, Baffling. Medicare for All PAC launches in U.S. while Canadians flee their country for health care. The article states, in September, Representative Pramila Jayapal, Democrat from Washington, established a Medicare for All PAC that will provide financial support to candidates championing a single-payer system. Jayapal is one of 3 co-chairs leading the House's recently established Medicare for All caucus, which has 70 members. The group's website argues that by expanding Medicare and eradicating private insurance, the federal government can provide health care that is affordable and accessible to every American. That's a nice talking point, but it doesn't match the facts. While Canada is the only developed country with a true single-payer system, which Medicare for All would replicate, many nations have ceded healthcare responsibility to the government and suffered the consequences. In Canada, where all private insurance is banned under its single-payer system, akin to the Democrats' Medicare for All proposals, after receiving a referral from general practitioners, Canadian patients waited a median of 21.2 weeks in 2017 to receive treatment from specialists. Wait times are even worse for some specialties. Patients wait a median 17.9 weeks to just consult with an orthopedic surgeon, and end up languishing an additional 24 weeks until they receive treatment. And that concludes your Saul's Newsstand News Review for October 5th, 2018. For more political news faster, visit saulsnews.com.